What's up, historians and fellow ranters? In this historic format, the most important thing that you can do is... Oh, what's this? Oh, looks like it's Drunken Dork. Hello, Drunken?
Waka waka, waka, waka waka, waka, waka waka waka, waka waka.
An entirely new digital arena format, you say?
Waka waka.
Well, I guess we'll talk about that then. On this, we had an entirely different show plan, but Watsy just dropped this bombshell in our laps, so fuck it, here we go, episode of Mana Rant. But first, I'm Hoshi, historic heckler, Asika's escort, and Cranko Mob Boss's crank dealer. And as always, I'm joined by a man who uses terms like, and I quote, wrap my lips around that sweet beer hole. Gross. I can't get that one out of my head. We have Drunken Dork.
When did I say that? I do not remember saying that ever.
It was last week when you were talking about getting home from being out in the cabin. You were talking about how you were deep throating your kegerator basically when you got home.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay, yeah, I do not remember saying that. It's funny that you use that or you use that intro of me calling you and telling you about this format, because I literally woke up about an hour ago to Hoshi being like, holy fuck, man, there's a new format. What the hell is going on? All this craziness. I'm like, what? It is too early in the morning. It's not actually morning. It's 7 p.m. right now. It is too early in the morning for me to be dealing with this shit. You can't drop a whole new format on me, Watsy.
Yeah, the sky is falling. Like I said, we had an entirely different show planned that we were working on, and then like all of a sudden it's just new format. Oh well, we're not talking about that anymore. And I have a surprise for you guys, and dare I say a treat? Maybe, I don't know. Maybe we'll see. All right, we have with us tonight, calling in, our long lost co-host, who sounds like he's calling in from the International Space Station with his audio quality, but it's still a good treat to have him here. We have Michael Apollo back on the show, people. Say what's up, Mike.
Hello. Hello. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, a little bit.
Am I coming in?
Am
I coming in loud and clear?
Yeah, unfortunately.
I don't know why I have a British fucking accent with shitty fucking audio, but yeah, what's up, everyone? I am back with shitty audio in its full fucking gloriousness. It's good to be back. It's good to be back with you two fucking idiots, and
yeah, I agree.
Boy, oh boy. Do we have some things to say tonight?
Yeah, this is gonna be a crazy
Absolutely.
one. So let's do it. So anyways, this is a show. We are the Mana Dorks. Thank you for joining us. You are listening to the Mana Rant podcast, where we talk about everything in Magic the Gathering, but mainly focus on the historic format. Our segments move through like all the stages of Magic, and the main phases are going to be our main topics. But tonight it's mainly just going to be about this Alchemy format. So let's just jump straight into the show with our first phase, which is the Untap phase.
Untap.
And Untap is where we untap some drinks that we're going to be enjoying tonight while we're talking about this crazy format. Drunken, what are you untapping tonight?
I'm double fisting, boys. Not really. So since I just woke up, I have my coffee in one hand, which you're probably going to see me sipping more than the beer, but I also have a beer because, I'm fucking Drunken Dork, and what other beverage am I ever drinking?
And why not, right?
Uh-huh.
Well, at least you're awake now. I'm excited about that. And Apollo, what are you drinking, man?
So first off, I want to say, at first I thought you were gonna be like Randy Marsh from South Park, drunken, and be like, okay, I'm dropping wine into a beer, and it's called a smorgasbord, and it's classy.
It's classy. And then you guys shake your head and blow a whistle.
So, no, But I am going to be Randy Marsh in the sense that I've already drinking tonight, right?
No.
It's like, so as you guys know, I am on an Air Force base. I cannot have alcohol in my dorm. So I've like pre-drink. Yeah. So
Nice.
I'm about 8 deep, dude. Drinking some Yingling.
Jesus Christ.
Wow.
I had
Oh
some
my God.
Ghost in the Machine IPA,
Oh.
local to Mississippi.
Nice.
So,
That sounds cool.
they have that. Yeah, it's really good. It's a good hazy IPA. Keeping it like I used to, man, with the hazy IPAs. So
Love it.
feeling pretty good. Feeling good about this buzz. Not feeling good about what we're talking about tonight. But yeah.
All right, man. Well, for me, I am having a Thanksgiving old fashioned. So it's got like candied cranberries in it, and it's got some what was it? Some orange liqueur, I think she added to this. And so I love old fashioned, so I can't imagine that this one would turn me off at all.
Gross.
Oh man. Ooh.
I love the background music, by the way. It reminds me of Alpine Village.
Yeah.
Classy times
Yeah,
at
yeah.
Oktoberfest.
Exactly. That's why I picked this. I felt like it just reminds me of good times drinking, you know? So I felt like it was
Yeah.
appropriate for this stage. Oh man, that Alcon.
Do you
Classy's
remember
definitely influenced,
do you
by the
guys
way.
remember the pretzel eating contest that I won? That was amazing.
No.
I was like by far the smallest person on stage on this pretzel eating contest, and I fucking annihilated everyone, man. It was amazing.
You just used your
Because
deep-
everyone stuck the
remember
pretzel in the mouth, like at the whole thing, and I was like nibbling. I was like a little rabbit, like you know. And
I thought you were gonna use.
I remember
your,
I tried to beat the guy with like 2 livers that can like drink a fucking
Oh, yeah.
32 ounce in 3 seconds.
Yeah, I remember that. The Steinmaster. Yeah.
Yeah,
Anyway,
Steinmaster. I wanted to beat him, dude.
I thought you used your incredible lack of gag reflex there. You know, trying to get
I
into
did. Yeah.
both of you. I forgot. You guys are multi-talented. All right. Well, cheers, boys. Let's get into our next phase.
Cheers.
Cheers, everybody out there. And with that, we'll move into our upkeep phase.
Upkeep, get ya upkeep.
And Upkeep is our Reddit rant segment, where we look to the internet for people bitching, screaming, complaining, crying about Magic the Gathering. But in an odd twist today, because there is so much complaining about this format, I thought we would do something a little different, which I'm calling Reddit cheer. Right, it's a season to be jolly, right? So let's look at an upspin. This was sent to us by one of our awesome Discord dorks over on our Discord, who Kai or Sai or however you say that, I don't know, CY. Yeah, so he sent us this. I didn't get the full article. It's just a little clip of it, but it's great because everyone is just like losing their damn minds over this new format right now, like complaining. And this guy, man, he's just he's not. So let's take a look at Ivey. Yeah, I don't know. Is that a play on Jewish oive? Maybe.
Ivy is, I think, the way you say it.
Ivy. Okay. All right. So let's see what Ivy has to say. And he starts off with Alchemy Hype Train. I, for one, am really excited for more digital-only cards and the prospect of more active nerfing/buffing for live formats. I'm primarily a historic player and was lucky enough to have one of my questions about the impact on the format answered on the stream. I'm interested in seeing how the historic format evolves. Choo choo! And then, so much enthusiasm. And then immediately below that, the first response is, "You are in the minority. Having old cards be rebalanced, kill off the," and then just into there's the next one of the 1,000 Reddit rants that people have been going on today. So we took just a little quick weird twist in another. How do you feel about having a positive Reddit rant in here, guys? drunken?
You're fucking up, dude. No positivity allowed. All right, you can't have that.
I figured Apollo was going to be doing enough Reddit ranting on his own tonight that we didn't really need to get more of that from the internet. So, Apollo, what'd you think of this guy? Do you think he's?
No, I love happy, positive Rainbow Land. I love getting my format changed. Oh, what a wonderful, splendid world we're in. Everything is just getting changed and nerfed and buffed and... Yeah, no. I'm sorry, dude. Alchemy Hype Train, IV, TCG. You have the audacity to put your name as TCG. What are you, a pro player? Okay, first off, I'm ranting about this guy. Like, this guy is just off the charts. I don't like his post. I don't like his post. I don't like his name. TCG, you're not a pro player. Erase it. Get off the internet.
There's your Reddit rant, people. Yeah,
I don't like it either, Hoshi. I generally don't shit on people, and I look forward to this every week where I get to shit on someone for about 5 minutes. So get your shit together, right, Hoshi?
Well, you guys didn't like it. Let me know, guys. Did anyone out there like it? No, I liked it.
No, this is the worst.
You know what? I kind of agree with this guy. I kind of like this new thing, and we'll get into that. But hey, thank you, Sai, for sending this to us. And if you guys have anything out there that you want to send our way from the internet, people screaming, bitching, I'm sure there'll be some good stuff this week. So send it our way. And with that, we will move into our draw phase.
Let's draw.
And draw is where most of the time we talk about what we've been playing this week. We show some gameplay and talk about our decks that we've been doing. But this week we have some MTG news brought to you by 3 of the dumbest people to possibly have a podcast.
That's true. Yeah, those are facts.
And this is crazy news. Seriously, just came out right now while we were getting ready to do the podcast. There's this new format that just dropped in our laps right now, and it's called Alchemy. And Alchemy is crazy. So let's take a look at some of the press release about what is going on in this format, and then we'll talk about it. Right. So first of all, this is an all new digital format that's launching only on Arena. So it's a digital format. It's not played anywhere else. Okay. And it's dropping next week, December 9th. Okay. So real short notice on this one, crazy short. And it includes only the standard. So it moves through the rotation just like standard does. Okay. But it will have digital cards only in it, kind of like how Historic has right now. There will be regular rebalancing of cards, according to them. Alchemy will add supplemental cards with each premiere set. So they're going to be getting additional cards. And one of the great things about Alchemy and why we're talking about it tonight is because we in Historic are also getting these cards. We get a trickle down effect from this, and it flows into Historic, and it flows into Historic Brawl. And so it's not replacing Standard. Standard will still exist on Arena and in paper, and they will not digitally mess with that or rebalance anything. So if you own any of these rebalanced cards, that's it. Unless they ban something.
Yeah, because, standard's the best, right? You can't touch standard.
Well, I don't know. WotC just seems to love standard so much. So I'm not surprised that they came out with another version of standard. But yeah, so all these cards are Brawl and Historic legal. We're getting 63 digital cards only, which is a shit ton compared to, I think, what we got in the last set, the last digital set that dropped, the Historic Horizons one. And then let's see, you can get these in special booster packs that they're going to have. And then after you get all these cards, then you just start getting Crimson Vow ones. So it sounds like if there's only 63 cards in this, you should probably be able to get them pretty quick through booster sets. Maybe, I don't know. We'll see. And then there are 11 cards that they are rebalancing, and we're going to talk about that in main phase 1. And then there will be no wild cards given out for rebalancing, which is a just straight kick in the nuts. And we'll get into that, I'm sure. So first of all, before I go on any further, what do you guys think about it coming out next week? Do you think it's cool that they just dropped a set on us this fast?
Apollo, you want to go?
No, I don't think it's cool. I was initially like really excited, like a little child with a new fucking action figure or something. Like I was like, oh my god, so cool! Like they're really catering to the arena digital format or platform, and I thought that was really cool. On face value, it is really cool. And then I dived a little bit deeper into it, and it quickly became something that I did not like at all. And we're going to get into that a little bit deeper into the podcast. But on paper, at face value, yes, I do think this is cool. I do think expanding on Arena is the right way to go, especially since now it's like you have paper, you have Moto, and then you have Arena. And giving some resources to Arena is a step in the right direction. Whether this or not will be the correct thing to do, that's to be said. But I personally have some apprehensions about it.
Okay. Drunken, what do you think? Like, they're dropping it next week. Have they ever dropped a set like this fast on us? Like a brand new format coming out next week? What do you think? Is that too quick?
No, I don't think so. I think it's fine. I actually like the fact that I would have been fine if they were like, and it's out today. Like that would have been fine with me. Okay. I know I'm going to be the minority here. But I think this is really interesting. So, I just woke up an hour ago. So this is, some of this information I'm going to be like, as we're going through the podcast, I'm going to be getting it because like I thought I read everything, but there's some things here that I didn't. And what I have to say about this is like before when we in Historic, we were like, they should nerf these cards, right? Like we'll use Uro, for example, where like Uro is too powerful or Oko is too powerful. You should nerf it. And WotC was always like, no, we can't do that because it's going to be really confusing for our paper players.
Yep.
And so they never did it. And then they come out with this Alchemy set and they're like, no, we're going to take a step back from what we said. And now we're going to be nerfing cards. And it's just only going to be on these digital formats. So it's not confusing anymore, even though Historic was already a digital only format. Yeah. Now, the reason I like this is because now going forward, if say they print another Uro or Oko or whatever, they have the ability to just change the card, so we don't necessarily lose it. They just step it back. Like it's like you guys were saying in pre-production, are you going to come out with Teferi, the 3 fairy again?
Yeah, a lot of people were asking.
And so they have the ability to do something like that, turn it into 4 fairy,
Yeah.
I don't know if anyone would play it at that point, but like they're now going to be able to
absolutely people still would. But
they're now going to have the ability to do stuff like that, which I personally like, I think that it is a digital only format. Historic I'm talking about, not Alchemy.
Yeah.
I think Alchemy is going to bring interesting new dynamics to our format, and we'll get into the cards they're changing for the good and the bad. And I will say they haven't yet written, and I was saying this in pre-production because Hoshi was telling me in the video, their release video or whatever, they said that all these cards are going to be they're going to be changing around, are going to be hitting Historic as well. Well, they haven't written that down because I couldn't find it anywhere.
Yeah.
So they can still take a step back from that even, they could potentially change their mind.
Hopefully. We'll bitch about that when we get to the rebalancing main phase.
Yeah.
But so 11 of them are getting rebalanced. Let's see. What do you guys think about the no wild cards for rebalancing? So if they nerf something and now it's like fucking worthless and you can't play it anymore, and then you used your wild cards to craft like 4 rares or something, and then they make it basically non-playable anymore, they're saying you still have the card and you can still play it, so they're not going to be refunding any wild cards for those. Do you guys think that's a shit deal like I do?
Apollo?
Yeah, I do actually. So the big problem with that is not only is the said wild card, right? Like the card is now useless, but it could actually negate an entire archetype. So now, like, an archetype can actually be completely useless. So that means all the time you spent putting wildcards, grinding, time into gameplays, all this can now be completely negated, and it's pretty much worthless. So to get nothing back for it, right? That's like a huge kick in your balls. Like,
Yeah.
it's just straight up like fuck you from WotC. Like, we don't care. We only care about standard, and we only care about tournaments, and we only care about standard based tournaments. And I thought they were kind of focusing on historic and standard, kind of like how they used to do with the old school paper tournaments of legacy, modern, and standard. But this seems like they don't really care. And this rebalancing thing kind of takes it to another level, kind of like almost like an esports, like fighting games and stuff like that. But back on topic, yeah, no, it's a huge fuck you. I don't like it at all. And the fact that we're not getting anything for it, that means all the decks I've grinded, it means nothing now. And I get nothing back in return.
Yeah, so there is a good side to this though, and it's not that. It's not them nerfing and then us not getting the wild cards back. It's the other side of them modifying cards. It's that they can potentially make cards better, and then we can end up getting value back. Like, for instance, Omnath is coming back, and we'll talk about that in the next section. But Omnath was gone. He got banned. We got wild cards for Omnath. And then now he's coming back into play. So now we have him back. So basically we got 4 wildcards for him. And now he's playable again, and kind of in a worse way. But they can also take shit cards that we get that, you know, you just crack and you're like, oh, this is a useless card I'll never fucking use. Great. And then they make it better, and maybe it's actually playable now. So that's the, you know, to play devil's advocate, I guess that's the good side of where you could actually get some like value in quotes maybe out of out of the rebalancing.
Okay.
You
Well,
know,
counterpoint to that then. Like, okay, so counterpoint to that. I have all the Omnath. So cool. Now I can use them again. Okay, sweet. Now I have to use rares to use Omnath. Now I have to use my own rares to build an Omnath deck. Like, oh, thank you so much for letting me use Omnath again. Now I have to use my own hard-earned rares to make an Omnath deck, where the other decks I was playing, like, you know, whatever gets nerfed, is now useless. So that's like a big point that, and a takeaway that I don't like, because now I have to use rares to use a card that they now tell me is viable.
Yeah, I mean, but you could look at that like any new card that comes out, right? You might have to use rares to make a deck around that. So I don't know. I'm just trying to like look at any type of positive in this, perhaps, instead of like us just getting totally bent over.
Yeah, I think that I don't think this is actually. I do think it's bad that they're not giving you rares, but like the point that Apollo's making here is that like you're fucked because you had a whole deck base around this and you're not getting any rares out of it. Well, I mean, before, when they just take a card away, it's the same thing. You know, you do get the rares or the mythic wild cards or whatever, but then that whole deck you made is fucking gone, you know? So every other card you crafted in there is now worth nothing, potentially, possibly. And at least now, like, yeah, if they're going to change it, which I am still yet to see, I want to see it in writing before before I start shitting on Wizards of the Coast. I'm sure they are, you know, if they said they're going to do it, I'm sure they are going to do it. Yeah. But like, at least they're modifying the card, right? So it could be for the good or the bad. So I really don't think it's that big of a deal, but I guess time will tell.
Okay, well, let's finish up a couple more things about what this format, like what else is happening with this format. Okay, so these rebalancing cards potentially are going to affect historic. So if they actually modify something in Alchemy, the trickle down effect is still happening. So it's going to hit us in historic and historic brawl according to them right now. Okay, so if you don't like this, which I don't think any of us do, I don't think something that's coming from a weaker format should affect our format. Let WotC know about it, because when they tried to do this crazy, like you need 2 wild cards to craft a historic card, everyone was up in arms about it, and they rolled that back. So maybe they'll roll this back too, because it, like Drunken was saying, it's not in paper anywhere yet. So hopefully that's not happening. And then there's going to be a ranked queue for Alchemy as well. But all the queues still share the same constructed progression, which they talked about that and why they're keeping it that way instead of having your own rank ladder for like each individual format that they have. And then let's see. So no separating the rank. And that's pretty much it. Do you guys have anything else that you wanted to bring up about the Alchemy format?
I actually think this format looks awesome. At first I was like, oh, this is going to be boring. This is standard. This is like stupid. Standard's cool, whatever. If you like it, you like it. I personally, I'm not a big fan. I pretty much only play historic. And, but now like taking a step back and like kind of absorbing everything, I actually think Alchemy seems pretty cool. It seems like a good alternative format to historic. Like the fact that, they're actually going to be giving a shit about like these cards rather than just banning and unbanning things. They're going to be like changing the cards around. And I think that's really good and really healthy for standard. So I think it's good.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to agree as well. So like, regardless, like the negative things I was saying, a point that I already made was like from an esports standpoint, from a tournament standpoint, from a competitive side of me, I do like this. If they're trying to make Arena a tournament competitive kind of platform, this is a good direction. Like this is a step in a good direction, right? Like we have standard, we have Alchemy now, and we have historic. So having different variations, like again, bringing up old school paper tournaments, Pro Tours, you had Legacy, Modern, you had Standard, right? Like this is like a variation of that, where it's now going to be Alchemy, Standard, and Historic. And, in a vacuum, Alchemy, I like it. I do like it. The cards that we're going to talk about later, I actually like them a lot.
Yeah.
So yeah, like it needs to be seen how it goes forward, but yes, in a vacuum, I do like it. I do think it's a step in the right direction.
I don't know who's gonna play standard now that Alchemy's out, right? Like it just seems like the obvious better version of standard, right?
Yeah,
I think like agreeing with Drunken Dork, like I don't care for standard. I quit standard a long time ago. I'll definitely play Alchemy though. A variation of standard, yeah. Dig it.
Yeah, I definitely want to try it out. The one thing that I don't know if I missed it in the live stream, was what their intention of power level was with Alchemy. I think it's clear that it's supposed to be stronger than normal, standard, just based on the cards themselves. The cards are pretty good. But they're talking about how they're trying to balance it a lot. So, WotC determines what power level they want the format to be. So I hope they're making it just like a cranked up version of standard. And if they follow through and make it like that, I'm in. I'm definitely down to play and try it out. And it sounds fun. Yeah.
Cool. One last thing. So I'm going to get on my soapbox. Remember when I mention this all the time because I don't know, because I'm an idiot. But remember when I made that post and I was like, hey, it'd be really cool if you had like these rotating cards in historic, right? And you had like these weekly events and everyone shit on me and they're like, no, that's stupid. You fucking idiot. Like, what the hell do you know? And
that's true. You are dumb.
So basically, yeah, I don't know shit. Basically what I was getting at with that post is, just having something that's constantly evolving, constantly changing, as like a side game. And I think the potential here with Alchemy is that, and it's really cool because like if you look at League of Legends, like those type of games, they're constantly changing things, or MMOs, for example. They're constantly changing, like nerfing characters, making characters more powerful. And I think that's really interesting, and it changes like the way you play the game, because it's not just one stale deck for an entire, rotation, right? it's constantly going to be changing. So the decks are going to be different. Sure, that's going to be hard on your wallet, but it just makes for a very interesting, evolving format, which to me sounds fun.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, and everyone tries to bring up, like, now that they're bringing in these digital things and they're being able to balance stuff, everyone's like, it's fucking Hearthstone now. Oh no, it's Hearthstone. And it's like, no, it's not. They're taking something good from Hearthstone. You know what else good stuff they could take from Hearthstone? The not game crashing shit that Hearthstone doesn't have, the chat system, the spectator mode, there's some good stuff about those other games.
Why
right?
isn't there a spectator mode? What the fuck,
right?
Man?
Like, if they can just take those out of those other digital formats and then just still have it be Magic, then hey, that sounds great to me, right? So in theory, it sounds great. We'll see what the execution actually looks like. But with that, let's look at this rebalancing that they did. This is what's got everyone going crazy. So let's hop straight into main phase 1.
Main phase 1.
Holy fuck, we haven't even hit main phase 1.
So here we go. We're looking at the rebalancing, and let's just get straight into it. We are looking at All Run's Epiphany. And so let's first talk about how all these rebalancings that they're doing, they are focused on this Alchemy format. They seem very invested in this format. They want it to succeed. So these, all these retoolings are trying to make this format more healthy. And so I'd like, for us to evaluate if we think this is a good move for Standard and how it's going to affect Historic if this does trickle down to us. Okay. So first, All Run's Epiphany. Everyone knows this card. It's been a scourge of Standard for a while now. The only change that I can see on here is that the foretell cost has gone up. Where when you foretold it before, it went down 1 mana cost. And now, if you foretell it, it doesn't do shit. It's still the exact same mana cost. So it's a 7-drop. It's a 7-drop double.
So what changed is you don't get the 2 birds unless you foretell it.
Okay, nice.
Yeah, that's the difference.
Okay, cool. And it's 7, so it did increase in mana cost.
Yeah, and it's 7 to foretell. Yeah, so you get 2 birds for an extra mana. It sounds fucking, sounds great for Standard players. Right?
Sure. Okay, what about Historic?
I don't feel like we see this often enough. I do see it very rarely, but those decks fucking suck anyway. And so whatever, man. Yeah, sure.
So you'll never see it now.
Yeah, you'll never see it. Exactly. Yeah.
Apollo.
Yeah, I mean, it's all right. I mean, the 7/7, whatever. I mean, I don't see it anyway, so whatever. I think it's fine. I think it's a fine change.
All right, cool. All right, let's go to the next one then, and that is going to be Asika's Chariot, another scourge of Standard. So we're seeing a theme here. And so everyone knows what it does. It comes in, it makes 2 kitties, and then you can crew it for 4, and then you can copy a token and make another one. Now, it's the same mana cost, same power and toughness of this vehicle, but it only makes 1 kitty now, and you can crew it for 2, actually. So it's easier to crew now, but you get 1 less kitty. So, Apollo, what do you think? Sure, Drunken. Go ahead. No, that's fine.
I think this card, I think it's interesting, right? Crew 2, it matters. This is a staple in Standard. So I see why, just like the card before, I see why they changed it. But I don't know if this gets better or worse necessarily. Crew 2 matters, opposed to Crew 4.
Yeah.
The fact that they're 1 mana, 2 power creatures, you could fucking, I don't know. I'm excited to see where this goes.
Okay. All right. Apollo, anything?
So it seems like a common theme here. There seems to be like an up and a downside, like kind of like a negating kind of factor here. I mean, it's cool. Like, I don't know if we're going to see play at all in the Historic format, but to Crew 2, that's relevant. It works with the kitty. So dig it.
Yeah, maybe. I think this was meant to be a debuff, but maybe it might end up being a buff. I don't know. I still don't think we'll see it. So
Jacavio,
it's a buff in the sense of the crew too.
Yeah.
So Jacavio said in the chat, Sika in Spanish can mean shit, so it's perfect now.
Oh, shit chariot. There it is.
Nice. Yeah, I like it. So next we have Faceless Haven. Now we're getting into something that exists in Historic and is a great card, and they're fucking with it. They're nerfing it. So before you took 3 snow lands or 3 snow mana, and you can activate this land. It has vigilance and it's a 4/3. They've turned it into a 3/3 now. So they took away 1 power from Faceless Haven. Drunken.
This fucking sucks because I think this is totally fair, actually. I think paying 3 mana to turn your land into a 4/3, to me, that sounds fair. Like, I don't understand why they're making this change. Like, I know this is for Standard. I just, I don't know how powerful this is in Standard. I really, this card specifically really makes me hope that, now that they can just freely adjust these cards, maybe Alchemy, they have it at one way, and then Historic, they have it another way, just like Standard.
Yeah.
So, why not just fuck with the user base and have, 4 different versions of this? Historic will have a 5/3, Standard will have a 4/3, fucking Alchemy will have a 3/3, and then Historic Brawl will have a 7/7.
Well, I mean, just from what I heard about them, because they had the main guy on there tonight, and people did ask about that, and they said they just don't want to do that. They don't want to confuse people by having different ones. So who knows? Maybe they'll.
It's so stupid.
Yeah,
it's such a dumb answer. That's such a fucking blanket dumb terrible answer.
Yeah, we don't want to overload the small brain community that we have. So.
Yeah, right.
That's what it feels like.
It's only the most complicated game in existence.
No
and,
shit.
These people, they can't wrap their head around 3 different versions of one card.
Yeah, Apollo pissed. I take it.
Yeah, absolutely. Writing off of what Drunken Dork said, he's predicted this a long time ago. He was talking about making, adjustments to cards, buffs and nerfs and stuff like that. And they can do that in digital format because, as we've said many times on this fucking podcast, it's 0s and 1s. It's not hard to fucking code the card, right? And for them to say flat out, it's going to be too difficult to have 2 or 3 versions of a card. Fuck you, dude. Shut the fuck up.
I don't think they.
Keep
I don't
the
think they meant
Historic.
I don't think they meant code wise it would be hard for them to do that. I think what they meant was they didn't want to confuse people. They didn't want to confuse us, right? By having it exist in
thank you.
Yeah, Paulo, you dumb motherfucker, all right? You're not going to understand how this works.
Thank you. Yeah, no, clearly
they were thinking about you.
There was nothing wrong with Faceless Haven. I don't play Standard, and I'm pretty sure a land that comes down that has Summoning Sickness, and then on the next turn you have to use 3 snow to activate to get a 4/3. That is not a big fucking deal. And if it was a big deal, then you would have seen it in Standard. And I'm pretty sure you do not see that problem in Standard. This is dumb. This is a dumb change.
I think so. I think so too. This is the one that I'm most upset about because
I'm pretty sure this is. Oh, sorry, keep going.
Yeah, I think this is a totally fair land in Historic. Maybe it's too powerful for Standard, but it sucks that we're losing this in Historic. I think it's not losing it, but I mean it's getting nerfed, and I think the man lands are actually better than this now, right? Like the red man land that we have that pumps out a goblin. I think the bugbear, I think that is better now because that can potentially deal 4 damage and this can't anymore. So that
it's better than this now.
It's better than this now. Yeah.
So I agree with that.
The other man lands are potentially, better than this now, which sucks. I don't like it, but whatever. They're doing it. So let's move on to our next card, which is going to be Goldspan Dragon, one that I don't see very often in Historic. So the only change that they made to this was looks like when you target it, You used to be able to get a treasure token for whenever any opponent targeted your Goldspan Dragon, and now that doesn't happen. So you only get treasure tokens when he attacks. Any thoughts about Goldspan Dragon? Drunken?
Yeah, I mean, it's being changed for the worse, which is unfortunate because it's a 5 mana flying 4/4 with haste, which to me is fair. It is an incredibly has the potential to be incredibly powerful, but like in our format, it just doesn't do anything. So it's unfortunate because you do see it every once in a while, and now you're just not going to see it.
No, it's done now. Paulo?
Yeah, I mean, I initially played this in my Gruul Monster set when this came out, and now you'll never see this ever again because the upside of it was the target of becoming a target of a spell. Yeah, getting those treasure tokens helped Gruul to get out those big fucking creatures more quickly than your opponents, and now that's negated. So.
Goodbye, Goldspan Dragon.
This is a garbage myth.
Goodbye. Next, we have Luminarch Aspirant, which is a great card. I'm sorry. Actually, this one I might be more pissed about than the Faceless Haven. Changed my mind. So normally Luminarch Aspirant is a card that most people should be familiar with. It's a 2-drop 1/1 that at the beginning of combat, you put a 1/1 counter on a target creature you control. Now they changed it to at the end of your turn, at the beginning of your end step. So you don't get that extra point of damage in combat now. So they have made this card significantly weaker. What do you think, Drunken?
This is unfortunate for you because I know how much of a fucking counter +1/+1 counter nerd you are with decks. This is true. What gets your dick hard. I'm pretty sure when you go and make love with your significant other, you're thinking of this card. So that's unfortunate because you can't anymore. Now it's just it just does this. So at the beginning of your end step, put a +1/+1 counter. Yeah, that sucks, dude. That's really unfortunate. It just changes the whole deck dynamic, really, because where this deck before is pretty aggro heavy, now it's just I think it turns it more into a mid-rangey style card, which is unfortunate.
Yeah, Apollo.
Aside from adding imaginary +1/+1s to your member when you're with your significant other, I actually love this card a lot. I play it a lot in a lot of my decks, especially, Death and Taxes and Life Gain and, Mono White Humans. And it now sucks. The whole point of it was the beginning of combat. The whole point of this card is the beginning of combat. That's what makes, White Weenies work. At the beginning of your end step it's useless. That means that you're now holding back on attacking. This doesn't work. It's stupid. It's dumb. I don't like it.
Yeah. And I just wanted to say, I don't think about this card during intercourse. I think of it before intercourse, to get me all riled and fluffed up and everything.
Oh, that's what I said. I said to get your dick hard.
Yeah, beforehand, not during though. I just wanted to make that distinction. All right. Okay. Well,
during, I'm pretty sure you think of the card after this.
Yeah. Now in this case, it's after. Right. It's when you're done. You're like, all right, I'll put.
Yeah.
Well.
That's good.
Let's talk about one
what you did there.
That gets drunk and fluffed up. All right, and that's Omnath, Locus of Creation. I know you have a special spot in your pants for this.
I love Omnath.
Guy. God, I hate this card. Anyway, so Omnath was banned. All right, completely banned before because it was broken. This card was destroying every format, and now it is unbanned. So before, it was completely busted. When it entered the battlefield, you drawed a card. Then, whenever the first land hit the battlefield, you gained 4 life. If on the same turn, second land came down, you got 4 additional mana. Okay. Then on the third one, all your opponents got dealt 4 damage and planeswalkers. So crazy card. They've nerfed it now. So they've
significantly.
I think so. So they've added 1 extra to its mana cost. So now it's blue, white, green, red, and now an additional colorless to it. Also, now when it enters the battlefield, you do not draw a card. You scry 1, and that is it. Everything else is exactly the same. So I don't know about significantly. This is Omnath is in decks that are abusing the shit out of mana and ramping. So he still gets the life gain. He still gets the mana pip. Still gets the damage out of it. Just costs 1 more. So I think it's still going to be really, really strong. What do you think, Drunken?
I do think this card is, it's still, you're going to start seeing it again.
Yeah.
It's nowhere close to what it was before, though. Like,
that's true.
It was a powerhouse. Like, this card is used in, it's used in Modern.
Yeah.
I don't think it's used in Legacy. I actually looked at making like a Modern Elemental deck because it looks sick as fuck. I love Elementals. It looks sick as fuck, but yeah, I don't know. I'm interested to see what people do with this. People who are much better deck builders than me are going to probably gravitate this because it was such a bomb before and make something interesting. I just, the fact that you're scrying instead of drawing that's like a huge difference, right? And it costs 1 more. I don't know. I don't know how to evaluate it.
Okay.
I actually think this is going to be viable now. I think it was correct to ban it when they did. It was too powerful, and I think this is the sweet spot. I think this is where we do want to see it. The fact that it's 1 more mana to cast and it doesn't get a draw ability, that's fine, because playing this type of deck style, you're cheating lands into play already, and the card draw is you're not really too hindered from the scry on Omnath, right? Like, if you're playing this deck, you already have a lot of ways to get card draw. So to me, like, the original Omnath was just over the top, just a little cherry on the top of the sundae. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
So this makes it now a more fair card, and I think there's potential to see it and possibly be something, whether it be tier 1, that's left to be said. But I definitely think it'll be brewed, and I think it's still powerful enough to where people will make land style decks that utilize it for sure.
Yeah. I would have liked to see the life gain get mitigated a little bit more, because I remember that being one of the real kicks in the dick while you're playing.
It's hard,
was watching how all of the work that you've done just go away, like every turn and then them become more and more powerful. So the mana pip is also insane, but I really wanted to see that life gain go down, and they didn't do that. So I'm not happy about that. Next, we have Druid class, a card that no one in Historic fucking plays except for extreme jank players. And what they've done is the 3rd level of it was 5 mana before, and now they have changed it to 3 mana. And what that does is when this class becomes level 3, target land you control becomes a creature with haste, and its creature's power and toughness are equal to the number of lands you control. It's still land. This sounds like a great fucking card to go in that Omnath deck, doesn't it? To be able to just...
That's literally what I was about to say. Yeah, but besides that, it's garbage.
Yeah, I mean that third ability is pretty usable now, though, to OTK somebody potentially. So I don't know, Butler or Apollo, any thoughts?
Yeah, it's a usable card now. It's left to be said if it's going to be used in Omnath or any kind of landfall kind of decks, but it's at least usable now. Reducing the cost greatly increases its stock for sure.
I think so.
So this is garbage before.
It was. This is a buff. This is the first buff that we've seen so far. Besides, like, potentially Azeka's Chariot, maybe. All right, so we got another buff right here, which is Cosmos Elixir. It's a 4-drop artifact, and at the beginning of your end step, you draw a card if your life total is greater than your starting life total. And then otherwise, you gain 2 life. This has been pretty meh so far, except for in standard. I guess it's been played. Now the only change that they made to it was if your life total is greater than your starting life total, now you gain 2 life and you scry 1. Do you think this is going to make it playable now, Drunken?
No.
Apollo?
Yes.
Yeah, you think it's
I
going
already
to be
see
playable?
this card. Yes,
Yeah?
so I play a
Okay.
lot of
Do you?
Selesnya life gain. So I don't know if it's because of the algorithm or best of three or whatever. I actually see a
Mhm.
lot of this card in a weird artifact deck. It's Esper artifacts. It's a really weird niche deck that I've been seeing quite a bit utilizing this card. And they use a lot of life loss to gain advantage via card advantage, card draw. And then they have this out using mana rocks and stuff to cast it really early. And yeah, giving it 2 life on top of the Scry 1 because I already see it. So I think this is an upgrade. So it might actually buff up this little niche pet deck that I've been seeing in the play queue.
Cool. I like it. Yeah, I mean, if you're hurting and you're having to gain life, being able to scry that card to find what you need to, make you live or get your combo off or whatever, it could be huge. So yeah, I like it. I think it hopefully it makes it more playable, especially in jank decks. I mean, come on, get that jank. All right, then we got Philoth, World Sculptor, which is another jank card. Speaking of jank, here we go. This is a jank favorite by a lot of people. It's a 6-drop elemental, and whenever he enters the battlefield, you create a 0/1 plant creature token for each basic land you control. And then it has landfall. Whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, put 4 1/1 counters on a target plant that you control. So the only change that they made to this was they added, when you put on those 4 counters onto the plant, now it gets trample on top of that. So what do you guys think? Drunken?
Yeah, it sounds like it's still going to be garbage in our format.
I think so, yeah. Follow.
Yeah, adding trample is whatever. You're not going to see it in historic.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think the greatest strength of this thing is being able to turn those plant tokens into something else besides plant tokens. And then the ability to put counters on a plant means nothing for most of the way that people play this deck. So I don't think this is going to do diddly squat. Next, we got Wizard Class, which is a 1-drop class card where you have no maximum hand size. The second one is pretty good. You draw 2 cards for 3 mana. But then the third one was a lot. No one used the third part of this because it was 5 mana for whenever you draw a card, put a 1/1 counter on target creature you control. No one used that part. Now they reduced that third level of it to be 3 mana. So 3 mana to whenever you draw a card, put a 1/1 counter. Drunken, what do you think?
I mean, yeah, it's better, but I still don't think we're going to really see it in our format.
Nah, I don't think so either. I think it's standard. It'll be good. Apollo?
I'm going to have to agree. If anyone's using it, it would be control, right? And they don't have issues with mana. They don't have issues with beating down life. They usually have like a big beater flyer, and they don't care how long it lasts. Like, they're going to get you down to 0 once they control the game. So making it faster doesn't benefit them in any way. Like,
Yeah.
maybe it
Not
just
really.
makes games faster, I guess. But
Yeah, it's a weird buff.
whatever.
All right, so let's get to our last one, which is Demi Lich, a card that Drunken was very excited about. I remember when it came out. It turned out not to really make that big of an impact. It was one of those cards that looked really cool and then kind of petered out. So they attempted to buff this.
Yeah.
They basically took it from a 4/3 to a 4/4 now. Drunken, this was a pet card of yours. What do you think about them buffing it? Do you think it's usable now?
No. I do like people. I do see this card still.
Me too.
Rarely, not often, but I do see it. I mean, it makes it better, right? Being 4 toughness is significant again, especially when you're playing against like burn decks and stuff, because it's out of burn range or out of lightning bolt range. So yeah, I think it makes it more usable. I don't think it's gonna make an amazing uptick in seeing this card though at all.
Okay, Apollo?
Yeah, I'm going to have to agree. I mean, the reason why it wasn't used in the first place was because Mono Blue Tempo had better resources for cheaper mana. The reduction in cost it's really, it's cute and stuff, and everything on the text. Maybe having it a 4/4, like a 4/4, getting out of burn range, like Drunken said, maybe.
Yeah.
But again, the tools that Mono Blue already has I mean, I don't know. I'd rather play Brazen Borrower. I don't know.
Yeah, Mono Blue and Izzet. I think this mainly fit in like Izzet decks. And Izzet decks they're crazy. They have so much, stuff going on that whatever. I think this will be good in Standard, probably. Mm-hmm. It will probably be good in Alchemy, maybe, but I don't think we're going to see it in Historic. And that is it for the modifications, the retooled cards that they did. So, with that, unless you guys got any final words.
No, let's move it on.
Sure.
It's going long.
Great. Let's move into combat then.
Dorkish combat.
Oh yeah, and this is combat, which is our horse shit card game, which Apollo has not got to play in person, or lose at in a very long time. So this segment is hosted by Drunken Dork. Take it away.
What is up, everyone? This is the game, this is Horseshit Card Game, the game that Apollo loses every week. This week I'm doing something a little different. Originally, we had a completely different topic, so I had an idea, and I just kind of went with it anyway. So what I'm doing is I'm going to name 5 cards from our beloved Historic format. They're all in it. They're all 3 mana cards. The caveat here is 4 of them are in the top 10 list of 3 mana cards. So like if you look at the top 3 mana played cards in Historic, 4 of these would be there. 1 of them isn't. And it's up to you idiots, drunken idiots, to figure out which one that is. Does that make sense?
Kind of.
So yeah, like if you were to take all the 3 mana cards in Historic, and you made a top 10 list out of just 3 mana cards.
Okay.
4 of them would be in it. 1 of them wouldn't.
Okay.
All right. So you ready for this? This is in best of 3. Your favorite, Hoshi?
Damn it. All right. Sure. keep going. Whatever. I lose again. All right.
All right. So the first card is going to be Mayhem Devil.
Okay.
All right. The second card is going to be Archmage's Charm.
Mm-hmm.
Then we got Anger of the Gods.
Okay.
Followed by Bone Crusher Giant.
Okay.
And then finally, Maelstrom Pulse.
Ooh, man. All right. Well, what do you think? Who goes?
I'm going to start with Apollo because he isn't here that often. I just like getting my laughs out early. You know what I'm saying?
Nice.
All right. So I'm pretty sure I know it, but name the second card again.
Archmage's Charm.
Yeah, that's what I'm going with.
Okay. And Hoshi, what do you got?
Oh man, I think I'm going with Anger of the Gods. Yeah, I think Anger of the Gods is or is it Archmages? It might be Arch. I know in Historic it's played a lot. God damn it, they're both played a lot. This is tough. Yeah, like I said, I don't really know fucking best of 3. Anger of the Gods, I'm going with it.
Okay, and then in our chat we have Blood9 says Maelstrom Pulse. Brennan Clement says Maelstrom Pulse, and Jacavio says Bone Crusher. So I'm gonna say this is according to MTG Goldfish.
Okay.
Like if you look at their top 50 historic cards used, I just basically looked at the top
garbage
the
website.
top 3 mana ones.
They don't know anything.
And y'all fucking wrong except Jacavio, man. You got it, dude. You got it. Yeah,
what?
Bone Crusher Giant blew my mind, man. Blew my mind that this card is not.
Well,
Yes.
Oh my god. Well, congratulations,
What?
Jacavio. I mean, he's losing that Japalo title that he did. Damn.
Yeah.
Man. Yeah.
When I look at these, it like sometimes I'm like, there's no fucking way that this card is this low, you know?
What?
And but yeah, the thing is these metrics are odd, right? Because I think they're solely based on like 2 things with MTG Goldfish. It's the decks that people are making. So there's some janky ass shit people make on MTG Goldfish.
Absolutely.
And then 2, And then number 2 is they have their like MTG assistant version of, MTG Goldfish assistant or whatever the fuck it's called. And that also tracks data.
Yeah, that's true. But you know what the most important thing about this is?
What's that?
Apollo
got it wrong.
Apollo still lost. Yeah.
I got it wrong. How the fuck?
I will say to the people who picked Maelstrom Pulse that that was like just right ahead of Bone Crusher Giant. They were like right next to each other. Yeah.
Still fucking bewilders me, dude.
Yeah.
That's
Bullcrap.
insane to me.
Bullcrap. I've said it before. I'll say it again. MTG Goldfish, garbage site, wrong metrics. They're known for it. They've been hacked. I hate it.
Yeah.
Main stage 2.
Yeah.
Main phase 2.
All right, so main phase 2, we're getting to the exciting part now of the show, and that's the new motherfucking cards that we're getting, and these cards look sweet. All right, so whatever the rebalancing was, sour taste in my mouth. Let's wash that out right now, and let's start looking at the new cards that we're getting. And so we're gonna start off with Toralf's Disciple, and this is a 3-drop, 2 in a red. For a creature human warrior at 3/3 with haste, and whenever Toralf's Disciple attacks, conjure 4 cards named Lightning Bolt into your library, then shuffle. And Lightning Bolt is a 1 mana red 3 damage instant, which is deemed too strong for historic. So yeah, but they go straight into your deck.
Now we get 4 of them.
I know. All right, so Apollo, what do you think, dude?
This is it. Yeah, this is what Burn wants. This is exactly what Burn wants on their top end, man. We're going to see fucking red deck wins for sure, and this is going to be the top end of that. Chain Whirler might actually just be cycled out because this is far superior. 3/3 with haste is already good. The fact that you get 4 lightning bolts is exactly what they need, especially when they're at that 3 mana perfect curve, that turn 3, that episode we wanted to talk about. Lightning bolt is perfect because now they can dump that mana and, you can do the math. 12 damage is pretty hefty.
Yeah.
With 4 free cards.
All right, Drunken, what do you think?
This is going to get nerfed immediately. There's absolutely no way this card stays the way it is. And I think this is like really just, they made this card, I was about to say printed, but they're not printing anything.
Yeah.
They made this card to show off the format, like to showcase it.
Yeah.
Along with a few of these other cards, just like really over the top powerful. And they're just going to, since they have the caveat of, now we can nerf cards too. That's what's going to happen. They're going to get you to fucking spend money, build decks, and then nerf the shit out of it. And this card is definitely going to be one of them.
Yeah. And if anyone doesn't remember what the conjure mechanic is, that's where these cards just come out of nowhere, right? You don't have to own lightning bolts. You don't have to craft them or anything. They're just put into your deck from nowhere. Also, when it does that, it thins a red deck, right? It makes your land to card ratio higher, right, on non-land cards, which is what red wants when they have 3 lands. So yikes, that's starting off strong.
Yeah.
All right, let's go into next. This is one that I like. This is Absorb Energy. It is 3, 1 colorless, and 2 blue for an instant counter spell. So counter target spell. Cards in your hand that share a card type with that spell perpetually gain this spell cost 1 less to cast. Drunken.
So Blood 9 says OP. I don't know if he's talking about absorb. He or she is talking about Absorb Energy. I don't like this card. I know. Yeah, I know you do a lot, Hoshi. I think that it has potential to be good. But it's still a 3 mana counter spell, and we have other counter spells that I think are just better, like the one that gains life. I think so. You put that in a control shell. I'd rather play that than this because gaining life is crucial in a deck like that. the potential of countering something and getting nothing, then it's just a 3 mana counter spell. So I don't know. I'm not high on it personally.
Okay. Paulo.
I actually do like this card, but I'm coming from a best of 3 kind of mindset. So the way I think of this card is it's definitely not main deck. I think it's really good for sideboard, and hear me out on why. The biggest problems with sideboard on control is how would you trim your cards? So you can trim out the control, like the counter spells that don't work for the matchup, and then you can put this in. So if you're playing against another non-creature spell deck, this would work really good. Because then, obviously your non-creature spells will cost 1 less. So a great way is that's like an easy 4 to cut out and an easy 4 to cut in. So that's where I see it, in a blue XX or a blue X control shell in the sideboard specifically.
Yeah, I like that. That.
I see this in like control / big spell decks, like ones that want to use the like ultimatums and stuff like that, where they want to either like cast something out of their graveyard or like survive long enough for them to be able to cast like a giant spell. This being able to counter spell, which slows your opponents down and reduce like the casting cost of like those big I win the game spells. I think this can go in.
Potentially, yes.
Yeah, potentially. Well, those decks, they pick you off, right? Like think of the 5-color Niv deck, right? Where they're stocked full of a lot of removal, and then they have a couple like major big I win the game cards. I think this fits into a deck like that and could be potentially very powerful. But yeah, that's just my thought. Once again, I'm not a control player really, but I do think this is a strong card. All right, well, next, let's move into Begin Anew, which is a 4 cost sorcery. It's 2 green and 2 white for a rare that is destroy all creatures. Creature cards in your hand perpetually get +1/+1. Apollo, what do you think of this one?
I actually like this a lot. It rewards you for keeping creature cards in your hands, not over dedicating to a board when you're facing an inevitable board wipe. There's been many times when I sideboard in matchups to where I also board in board wipes for opposing creature strategies. And I'll purposely withhold my creatures in my hand to board wipe if elves are getting out of control, for example. And then I'll dump my Selesnya life gain creatures and I'll go out of control. And this card can help me do that. Being that it's 4 mana as opposed to the like 6 mana board wipe that I use. I forget the name of it. The double white, 4 colorless, destroy all creatures, enchantments, and artifacts, the dual modal.
Oh, yeah.
I forget the name of it. But this is obviously too cheaper. It fits the color scheme, and it fits to what I'm trying to do. So I can like slot in specifically for creature strategies, most definitely elves, and I get rewarded. The creatures in my hand now get +1/+1. Swing in, get that damage. I like it.
Drunken.
Yeah, I like it. I don't know if I'm super high on it, but I definitely think we will see it. I'm interested to see where people put this. I think it fits in like some kind of odd mid-range strategy of green-white Azorius or Azorius X, So I'm interested to see what people do with it. I do think it looks cool. I don't know the potential here. What do you think, Hoshi?
Yeah, I haven't had enough time to like really think of where this belongs in Selesnya. I will say I do not like the restricted casting cost of this. That's pretty rough mana. 2 green and 2 white. I could see, having 4 mana easily and not being able to cast this because I just got mana screwed in a certain type of way. But the potential for this is great. If you have indestructible creatures maybe, or if you have creatures that, when they die, you get a token afterwards. So you don't like really mind board wiping them or something, is the first things that are coming to mind. But, I don't know. I'm excited for it. I think it looks like a really cool board wipe that, it helps out Selesnya because they're usually very punished by board wipes. So, giving them anything that helps them out is kind of cool.
I said Azorius. I meant Selesnya. My bad. I meant Selesnya X. Yeah. Not Azorius.
Okay.
Sorry, Selesnya or Selesnya X. Creature decks.
Okay, no worries. How dare you? Don't you ever do that again. And then next we have
Sorry.
next we have Ishkana Broodmaster. This is a 4-drop, 3 colorless, and a green for a legendary. Broodmother. Sorry. Legendary creature spider at Mythic. It is a 3/5. It has reach. Other spiders you control get +1/+2, and it has an ability that is pay 1 in a hybrid black-green, which means you can pay either black or green for that mana. Exile 2 cards from your graveyard. Draft a card from Ishkana Broodmother's spellbook. Now, draft is a new mechanic that we have, or at least it's the first time they've added a a mechanical name to this this ability. So what draft means is that you can pick from 3 random cards out of the spellbook, and when you pick that card, it goes directly into your hand, and you do not have to reveal it to your opponent. So it's very similar to the Davriel Planeswalker that we got in the last Historic Horizon set with the contracts that he had, where like he has a bunch of contracts and then you randomly got to pick out of 3 of them. Same concept. They're just calling it draft now. So the cards that you have in the spellbook are Twin Silk Spiders, Drider, Brood Weaver, Glowstone Recluse, not Vold Recluse, Hatchery Spider, Mammoth Spider, Netcaster Spider, Sentinel Spider, Snare Spider, Sporecap Spider, so many spiders, Spidery Grasp, Spider Swarming, Prey Upon, and what is that? Arachnoform. There we go.
Arachnoform.
All right. Nice. So
spider stuff.
Holy shit. Yeah. All so spidery. Drunken, what do you think of Ishkana?
I actually think this card's really cool. I think that ability is sweet. You know, Prey Upon is an incredibly powerful card. Yeah. And you do see it in the format and with potential here. I don't know all of these cards. I don't know what a fucking Drider is. That sounds fucking, it's a dumb spider. That's what Drider means.
I don't know either.
And like, I don't know if there's anything with Death Touch, but that is a common thing with spiders is Death Touch. Yeah. So like, you know, the having Prey Upon and Death Touch, and Death Touch Spider can be powerful for 2 mana. That's not bad, man. That's not bad. I don't know how powerful it's going to be, but I do think it seems fun, and I know for sure we are going to see this in Historic Brawl.
Oh, absolutely. This is an amazing commander. I think. Yeah. If there's enough spiders, anyways. Paula, what do you think?
Yeah, I was just going to say Historic Brawl. That's where we're going to see it. We finally have Spider Tribal, and being able to draft cards from Ishkana's spellbook is super relevant. That means it's just more cards to the 99. And it fits that theme. Whether we see it in Historic, I don't think we will, but definitely Historic Brawl. This is a great commander and well needed for Spider Tribal. Yeah.
I mean, if for a commander as well, it's got the hybrid for that ability, so that means you can use it in a Golgari deck. You can have green and black in this deck as a commander. So yeah, super sweet card. I love tribal, and I love weird tribal, like spider tribal. So I am stoked on this card. Yeah. I like it. I don't know how good it'll be in Historic, but I do like the card a lot. And then next we got some sweet fucking art on this Gitrog Horror of Zava, and it is a 4-drop. It's 2 colorless, black and a green for a legendary creature, Frog Horror at rare. It is a big old 6/6 for 4 mana, which is pretty good. It's got Menace on top of that. And then at the beginning of each combat, if Gitrog Horror of Zaga is untapped, any opponent may sacrifice a creature. If they do, tap Gitrog Horror of Zaga. Then seek a land and put it into the battlefield tapped. Whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, it perpetually gains Tap for black and green mana. Sacrifice this land, draw a card. Tap and sacrifice this land, draw a card.
It's just tap 2.
Oh, sorry. It perpetually gains tap 2. I thought it was tap. I thought it gained 2 mana. But yeah, you're right. The land has pay 2, tap, sacrifice it. So pay 3, basically. Sack a land and draw. Okay, so that's different than I thought it was. But basically, your opponents can sack a creature to stop this from attacking by tapping it, but then you get an upside of it of getting to seek, which is another one of these digital mechanics where it just randomly grabs any land out of your deck and puts it onto the battlefield tapped, and then gives it that ability. So, Drunken, what do you think of Gitrog?
I think the card's cool. I don't think we're going to see it too often. I don't know if you remember this, Paulo, but we had a card called Desecration Demon back in back in Standard a while ago. Okay, which was a flying 6/6 for 4, and it says at the beginning of each combat, any opponent may sacrifice a creature. If a player does, tap Desecration Demon and it put a +1/+1 counter on it. Kind of similar.
This seems a little better.
That one or this or
one.
Gitrog?
This one, Gitrog does.
Oh yeah. Yeah, the fact that you're getting lands and it has a second ability seems cool. I don't know. I'd like to see it where this is going to be played. I'm not super high on it.
Okay. Apollo.
So I mentioned it on our chat on Discord, and if you guys haven't, who's listening in, be sure to check out our YouTube so that way you can get those links and join our Discord channel, because I mentioned this, and Drunken, I was going to say the same thing. Like, I was like, dude, do you remember Desecration Demon? Because that's what this reminds me of.
Yeah.
I do think this is like semi better with the lands and stuff, but the idea is the same thing. The opponent has the choice to do something, to tap it down, and then you get an upside for that. And what I really do like about this is that it doesn't say basic land, it says land.
Yeah,
that is super
that
crucial.
is good.
Oh yeah.
Whether that is going to be played in traditional historic, that's yet to be said. But as a commander for Historic Brawl, where, oh man, singleton lands, you can get all the utility lands you want, and this is going to shine there for sure. You can do some pretty bonker fucking, graveyard strategies, and with all the utility lands that are out there. So I definitely think that this is going to see play in Historic Brawl. In Historic, it might be a little too slow, but it is a really cool card. Nonetheless, I really do love the design and flavor of this card.
Yeah, I mean, it's a 4-mana 6/6 with Menace. All right, that's pretty good. But yeah, who knows if we'll actually see it. I can't really imagine a deck where it fits in right now, but then again, I'm fucking dumb. So let's go to the next card, which is Captain Eberhart, which I can imagine decks that this will fit in. This is a 2-drop, 1 colorless and a white for a legendary creature human soldier at Mythic Rare. It is a 1/1. But he has double strike. Oh, it's also a legendary creature human soldier. Did I say that? Okay, with double strike, and then spells cast among cards you drew this turn cost 1 less to cast. That sounds so weird. Let me say that again. Spells cast among cards you drew this turn cost 1 less to cast. So I guess that's only for this turn. Spells cast among cards your opponents drew this turn cost 1 more to cast. Drunken, what do you think?
So yeah, basically what this is saying is while this is on the battlefield, whenever a card is drawn, it either costs 1 less for you or 1 more for your opponent. Which is an interesting, you don't see this type of text on Magic cards often. It's kind of, it is a little confusing because it's usually like enter the battlefield, this turn or something but this is just, it's like a global effect basically.
Yeah.
And, dude, this seems crazy. the fact that this is just a lightning rod, man. That's exactly what this is. You see this hit the battlefield, you're like, okay, nope, get rid of that.
Absolutely, dude.
Yeah, as soon as it hits the stack, anything that's tempo, like a tempo player, you're casting your opt or whatever, because you don't want that thing, whatever you're going to draw, to cost one more.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm very interested to see this card play out. I think we're going to see it for sure. It's going to fit well into those +1/+1 counter decks you love so much. The only drawback is it's legendary, so having 4 in your deck might be a little punishing to you, but I don't think it will ultimately, just because this thing is such a lightning rod. People only have so many single target removal spells in their hand, so eventually it'll hit and stick.
Apollo, what do you think?
I'm going to have to agree. This fits in Death and Taxes. This fits in humans, any kind of like life gain strategy. So the thing that I really like about this is it rewards you for having card draw. And white doesn't have too much of that, but they do have ways. So getting that card draw in your hand, all those cards are now 1 less to cast. So not only are you getting advantage in your hand, you might be able to get that one piece, and having it be 1 less to cast might be that game-winning card that you need to have. I do actually love that it's a lightning rod. The problem with a lot of these like white weenie strategies is that the deck can be completely hindered if the right thing is taken away. But having another object that not necessarily is your game-winning plan to take the lightning bolt, right? Having your opponent waste resources on a card like this, I love it. Because now I can run 4 copies of this. And if I keep it, amazing. If I don't, I can still shit out creatures. I can still flap in, get my +1/+1 counters, get my life gain, whatever my strategy is. And the fact that if you are going to do it, it's going to cost 1 more for you. If you do draw, that's also a plus side. So I do love this card. I think we're going to see this a lot for sure.
Yeah, I mean, on top of all the other Death and Taxes stuff, like Thalia, Jacoby was just talking about, I mean, there's so much good like 2-drop weenies right now. I think this might be one of the other reasons that they nerfed Luminarch, is because white, if you guys pay attention at all to standard right now, white is very strong in standard. White weenies is very strong there. So I think that's another reason they nerfed that, because this is
Best
coming.
of one, yeah.
Because this is coming in too, and this is going to be, just a jackhammer too. Especially if your opponent's top decking, right? Like, I need something, and oh, damn it, it costs 1 more now. Screw you, Captain Eberhart. All right, so let's take a look at the next one. This is another really sweet, like, just taking full advantage of the digital mechanics here. And this is Patient Zero. This is a colorless and a black for a creature zombie at rare. It's a 2/2 with lifelink, and damage isn't removed from creatures your opponents control during cleanup step. So what that means is normally at the end of the turn, when your creatures go back to their original life total, that doesn't happen anymore as long as this thing is on the battlefield. Meaning it's almost like -1 counters on it, which is pretty cool. We've never seen a mechanic like this before. What do you think, Drunken?
I love it. I'm very interested to see where this is going to fit in, but to me it seems like maybe Rakdos style deck, not necessarily like a zombie deck, but something where you are dealing damage and like maybe playing Anger of the Gods or something like that, right? Because oh wait, but then this thing would die too. I don't know. I'm very interested to see where this is going to fit. I like it a lot though. Yeah, it's exactly what you said. It's like -1/-1 counters pretty much. And that's just powerful, to put that on something is really good. Like, it's like that wizard, right? Where every damage spell you do adds -1/-1 counters, except this isn't just damage spells. This is damage.
Yeah.
So any kind of damage you do basically just puts those -1/-1 counters on it. I like it. I'm excited. And it has lifelink. It's just all up. For 2 mana, it's up and up and up.
Yeah. Nice. Apollo, what do you think?
Dig it. This is definitely going to be a staple for sure. Mono black aggro is a deck that comes to mind. They really need this kind of card, so that way they can confidently attack in, and that damage stays on. But another deck that just got more powerful, and I don't think it needs to be more powerful, is Jund Sacrifice or anything using Mayhem Devil. So the big problem with Mayhem Devil,
my god, yeah, good point.
was killing the creatures that are too big. Now they can ping all they want, and that damage stays, and they can eventually get there and get rid of everything that they want to. So this is for sure.
Oh, dude, I didn't even think about that, dude.
Maybe.
I'm gonna say something real quick. So someone on our Discord, what is his name? Sorry. He posted a deck, and I have been playing the shit out of it, and winning. Like, my win rate is insane with the deck. And Dark Savant. And yesterday I was just recording game after game, because I haven't really been doing that. I've been playing on my phone a lot recently.
Yeah.
And I played in best of one. I played Jund Sac 4 times in a row. I almost never see Jund Sac in best of one.
I hate
but like
playing it so much.
I don't know what the popularity behind it is right now, but like I saw 4 times in a row, and then I played a couple other games, and I saw it again, and then again, and I keep saying it. So dude, you nailed it. This card is gonna go great in that deck.
Oh, good. I hope so too. I hope it goes so good in that deck that they're like, oh shit, we should ban Mayhem Devil maybe, or the cat, or
nerf it,
or the stupid.
Hey, they can nerf it now, right?
Or the
cat,
or the stupid. Either the cat or the oven. I don't care. Get rid of one of them, dude. I don't care. You know what? Mayhem Devil's fine. You can keep Mayhem Devil. Fuck that stupid combo that makes that deck take forever to play against. That's all right. Before I get all the way up on my soapbox, let's go to the next card, which is gonna be Forsaken Crossroads, which is a land card that we're getting at rare. Forsaken Crossroads enters the battlefield tapped. When Forsaken Crossroads enters the battlefield, choose a color. Forsaken Crossroads enters the battlefield tapped. When Forsaken Crossroads enters the battlefield tapped, scry 1. If you weren't the starting player, you may untap Forsaken Crossroads instead. Add 1 mana of the chosen color. Drunken Dork, what do you think?
All right, I'm going to reread this because you really fucked that up. Forsaken Crossroads enters the battlefield tap. As Forsaken Crossroads enters the battlefield, choose a color. When Forsaken Crossroads enters the battlefield, scry 1. If you weren't the starting player, you may untap Forsaken Crossroads instead. This is, I think, out of all the cards, the most interesting one, because we have never had if you go second, you get an advantage to something.
Yep.
And it makes a really like unique deck, like when you deck build decision, right? Of actually putting this card in your deck. And so like I see this working in a best of 3 format a little bit better. Like if there is potential to make a I go second deck, which generally there isn't. You know, generally you don't want to go second. I do like it though. I think this is really interesting. And I like to see where, now that they're doing something like this, where they go with more particular, where they go with like this type of like you go second, you get an advantage type of thing.
Yeah, awesome. Apollo.
This is something we've actually kind of talked about like for quite a few years, being some drunken idiots. Getting rewarded for going second, you know what I mean? Like a lot of the times we've voiced our opinions on mulligans and how Wizards has changed the mulligan rule over and over and over again. And this kind of subsides that a tiny bit. It just makes it a little bit better. If you do have to mulligan X amount of cards, at least then you can get a card of the color that you're trying to do, and it comes in untapped. Also, if you're on the play, getting that color can also, you know, dictate whether you can stay in the game turn 3 and beyond. So I really like this card. As Drunken said, I think it's really unique that Wizards made this kind of card choice, and I think it's a great utility land. This is what they should be doing with lands. They should be thinking really deeply about how to keep the other person in play. Like, you should not be punished for being on the draw, right? Like,
Yeah.
and this is a good way to do that.
I was watching I watched the whole stream. Well, not the whole thing, but I watched the stream of, and at the end they were talking about this, and they mentioned that they're very aware that if you go first, you have a much higher chance of winning. And I don't think anyone is not aware of that, right? Like, it's the strongest thing you can do in Magic is to go first, right? And the stats clearly back that up. So they have been thinking about this for a while, and I think this is their first attempt at actually trying to do any type of mitigation against that, and it's cool. I like the modalness of this, of where if it comes in tapped, you can scry one. The weird thing is you have to make a choice if you go second, though. So you can get that scry or you can untap it, is what it's saying, I'm pretty sure. It's a weird way that it said, like, where it enters the battlefield, tap scry one. If you weren't the starting player, you may untap Forsaken Crossroads instead. That instead means I think you don't get the scry if you untap it. So you have a choice to make there. So you could still actually get the scry, but then it comes in tapped. And then being able to have, like, just mana fixing, pick whatever color you want with this thing. Super interesting, cool card. I definitely think this is going to see play in Historic. And then another one I think we're going to see play in Historic is Geist Channeler. This is a 2-drop whammy right here. It is it's a colorless and a blue for a creature human wizard at rare. It's a 1/3, and when Geist Channeler enters the battlefield, choose an instant or sorcery card in your hand with mana value 3 or greater. It perpetually, which means forever, gains this spell costs 2 less to cast. Yikes. Paulo, what do you think?
It's going to get nerfed, because now Mystical Dispute is the most broken counterspell in the entire game of Magic. The only thing I can think of that's better is, like, Force of Will or Force of Vigor. Like, or Pact into Gate, like anything that's 0, right? Like, now you have a 1 mana counterspell. That's ridiculous. That is insane. What were they thinking? Like, this is insane. Mystical Dispute is now definitely going to go in every single deck that plays blue and wants counters. This is a broken card for sure, and it's going to get nerfed.
Okay. Drunken, what do you think?
I agree 100%. I think, like I said, with that one that makes lightning bolts in your hand, I think this card is just like a showcase card. It's to show off, like, hey, we have this new format and these cool new cards. Come spend your wild cards and your actual hard-earned money and make this stuff. And then a month from now, not even a month, probably a week later, we're going to nerf the shit out of this card. This is, I mean... Well, like, just looking at the stats, 2 mana 1/3, that's not great, but that's, like, pretty typical of blue because it adds, like, this other thing, so the value 3 or greater, I think that's where it's going to change. I don't think they're going to change cost 2 less. I think they're going to change what the mana value is of the card. Yeah. Converted mana cost, because, like Apollo said, like, it lowers... Mystical Dispute isn't the only counterspell that's 1 blue mana. There's other 1 blue mana counterspells that there's 4 mana spells that only use 1 blue mana, and it's just going to turn it into a 2 mana spell, a 1 mana spell. I can totally see this in Mystic's Mastery, just turning Mystic Mastery into turn 3, like, for sure you're going to get it, right? Because before you make the treasure and, like, that's how you would turn 3 Mystic's Mastery. But now you can make the treasure, or you could Geist Channeler, right? So it's just more consistency there. And, dude. Fucking crazy good card.
Dude, listen, think about this. Harmonic Prodigy that doubles the ETBs of wizards and shamans. This is a wizard. It's an ETB that does it, so you can double up this effect with Harmonic Prodigy too. The jank. This opens up so many weird possibilities.
Oh, dude, some some Coco, man, for 2 mana. I love it.
So much jank can be like because there's a lot of cards that cost a lot that just can't be played in Historic because they're just expensive. And if this thing can just beat them down like that, man, this could be some explosive janky decks that you can make with this thing. I fucking love it, and it's gonna get banned, or at least significantly nerfed. Let's move to the next one, which is Ominous Traveler. And holy shit, there's a lot of text on this thing. It is it's a 2-drop, 2 colorless for a creature human at rare. It's a 1/1. And when Ominous Traveler enters the battlefield, draft a card from Ominous Traveler's spellbook. That card perpetually gains. You may spend mana as though it were mana of any color to cast this spell. And when you cast this spell, return a creature named Ominous Traveler you control to your owner's hand. Jesus Christ, that's a lot of stuff going on. All right, let's take a look at Ominous Traveler's spellbook. He has Dominating Vampire, Vampire Socialite, Stromkirk Blood Thief, Falcon Wrath Pit Fighter, Wolfkin Outcast, Halpak Piper, Tovalar, Dire Overlord, Patrican, guys, I don't know, whatever, Shipwreck, Skipper.
Patrician.
Yeah, I don't care. Steelclad Spirit, Heroin Bless Guys, Archghoul of Therabrand, Champion of the Parish. Champion of the Parish? No way. It's the Parish. Oh, I thought. Wait, that's not the white one, is it?
Yeah.
Is that the white one?
Yeah.
Oh, Parish.
Yeah.
No, it's Perished. It's Parish is the white one. So it's no. It's the zombie one. Damn it. All right, I got really excited for a second. Headless Rider and Blade Stitched Scab. What the fuck do you guys think about this one? Apollo.
I don't know any of these fucking cards you just said. So
Champion of the Perished?
Yeah.
I'm assuming they're vampires, spirits, and werewolves. And they are not relevant at all in Historic. So I think it's a cute card. It's not going to see play maybe in Standard. I know that werewolves and vampires are coming alive there, but in Historic, I don't think we're going to see it. Cute card, though.
Yeah, it's interesting. Drunken, what do you think?
I think it's unfortunate that they made it a human, right?
Yeah.
Why isn't it a shapeshifter? That's what I don't get about this card.
Mm-hmm.
While your Wizards of the Coast is going through and editing these cards, they need to fucking edit this into a shapeshifter so it'll be like a viable card and one of these like fun archetypes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like these what is that called when you have all the same creature type?
A
think of it right now.
shapeshifter or
tribal. Yeah,
okay.
like into a fun tribal style deck, that would make this card, I think, a little more viable. But, I think it's whatever.
Yeah, I mean, I'm seeing vampires and I'm seeing werewolves in here, and then we're seeing zombies and stuff. And yeah, so I think that's the 3. And then Geist. So we have spirits as well. So we got spirits, we have vampires, and we got werewolves and zombies. So it's different tribals. Yeah. So I think you're really onto something there with this should have been a shapeshifter to, blend in with all these different, these types. Cause but it's draft though. So you get a choice of 3 of them. So if you're playing like a specific type of deck, you can maybe pick it out, but a human doesn't fit in any of those. I don't know. Damn it. I really would. Yeah. I wish this was a little more cohesive because it seems like a really cool card. And that's it.
Yeah.
It seems like no one's playing Crimson Val. Like no one's spending their gold, and they're just like, please play these cards.
Yeah. They noticed
Don't you want to play these cards?
They noticed all the gold sitting in my account. They're like, wait a second, that was supposed to be empty by now.
Apollo's not wasting his money on these sets.
That's interesting. Jacavia said with Paradox Engine you go infinite, which is because when you cast it goes back to your hand, so you can just keep. Yeah, that's interesting. I like that.
Yeah, that card goes infinite, but then you have to be able to cast the things that you're getting. So that's where like, yeah, you can infinitely return it to your hand and get more cards in your hand. But then eventually when your turn ends, if you don't have the mana to spend it,
well, you got to have
then,
mana rocks, I guess, that are doing something with it. What you really need is like a haster.
Yeah.
You need a haster in there, and then you could kill them probably in one turn.
Yeah.
That's cool. I like it.
Yeah.
I like the janky stuff. But whenever you do instant untapping combos, my jank is not super excited because those decks are hard to pull off, I feel like. But
all right. So I have a question for you guys. With all these cards revealed here, so what is that game? You fuck, marry, kill. All right. Out of all these cards, which one? So we'll start with Apollo. Fuck, marry, kill.
Oh man. Let's see here. I think I would definitely fuck. I think I'm definitely gonna fuck Patient Zero.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Like go deep on the Patient Zero there.
Okay.
Marry.
All right.
I'm gonna marry Captain Aberhart. That's just true to dear to my heart.
Nice.
Death and Taxes. And was it kill?
Yeah. Kill.
Ooh, wow. Oh man. It's gonna be fucking Ominous Traveler. He can fucking die. I don't like him.
Okay. Sweet. All right, Hoshi. Fuck, marry, kill.
Oh man. Okay. Well, this is tough. I definitely gotta fuck Captain Eberhart, and then I think I gotta marry Geist Channeler, because I like them big fists you got, I think something's going on there, the possibilities, and then definitely killing Torolf's disciple. Fuck that card. All right, what do you got? What do you got, Drugged?
So real quick, I'm gonna say Jacavio said I'm fucking the colorless, marrying the white one, and killing the blue busted one. Yeah, I feel you, dude. I feel you.
Okay.
So the one I'm fucking is probably gonna be Torolf's disciple. Yeah, me and Torolf's disciple are gonna have an intimate 30-second love sesh, and then
that's all your love sessions.
Yeah, basically. And then the one I'm marrying is going to be probably Patient Zero because it's janky and I just want to fucking really brew with this card.
Yeah.
And then killing. I think I'm gonna have to agree with Jacavio, man. The fucking Geist Channeler, this card is too powerful. I love it.
That's my boo. What are you
I
doing,
think this
dude?
card is sweet as fuck, but like, my God, we're gonna see some awful stuff. You like it now, but the moment you enter, not the play queue, the fucking ladder, you're just gonna see this and it's gonna piss you the fuck off.
Look at them big fists, though, dude. Look at them big fists. Look at them things.
They're too big for my.
You like fisting, dude.
Look at them things, dude.
I don't know where you're going with the big fist, but they're too big for my wiener. So
yeah, I don't know how you're trying to sell us on this one.
Yeah,
like,
is it like? Are you talking about your bum, or like what are we doing here?
Dude, I'm just saying, look at them fists, all right. Anyways, that was awesome. Those cards are fucking sweet, man. And with that, this has been running pretty long. Let's go in. This is maybe the longest episode we've ever had. Let's go into our end step.
Probably.
An end step is usually where we talk about what we got going on, like dorky stuff outside of the MTG world, which is plentiful, but we have no fucking time for this today, so we are going to just skip right on to the cleanup phase.
Cleanup.
And cleanup is our social media promo stage where we have a YouTube. We put these on there every Sunday. We have a Discord, which is fucking awesome, full of cool people. And then we have a Twitch where we stream this live every Thursday, most of the time. And then we have, basically every podcast out there, Spotify, Apple, all that stuff. And then we have an Aether Hub account where we post our decks that we make on there. So if we talk about any deck in the show, it's generally going to be on the Aether Hub. And if not, just hit us up on Discord, or you can email us or whatever. And we can point you in the right direction to getting whatever, stuff you guys need. But generally Discord's going to be where it's at. We post most of our decks in there. We have a deck list channel. And then, like, subscribe, do all the, YouTube/podcast nonsense that is supposed to be good for us, I guess. We wouldn't know. We make zero money on this because we're idiots that don't know how to make an LLC or whatever. So eventually we'll get there when we grow up one day.
Never happening.
So anything else for cleanup, gentlemen?
Thanks for watching, everyone. Please join our Discord. Very cool people there. Very neat deck ideas. Like Hoshi said, we constantly have people throwing shit out there, and I am not joking. I have played so many 70-80% win rate decks from our Discord, just from people dropping them in, that I can't even count them on two hands. It's great.
Yeah, people are supportive if you have a deck too that you want to, improve upon. Like we all jump in there and help people out with ideas and whatnot. So with that, let's move into the final stage of the show, which is our discard phase.
Discard phase.
Right.
Drink 'em up,
And
boys.
discard is where we pound the drinks that we have been drinking tonight and say farewell to you guys on this Alchemy Ridiculous show. I would like to thank Apollo for finally getting back on the fucking show, even though in his in his script.
Yeah, really quickly, I want to thank everyone. There's a lot of new fucking viewers and subscribers and followers since I've been out of basic training and all that nonsense, and it's great to be back. All the new people and fam that we have in our Discord, I love you guys, and it means a lot to me for you guys to actually hear my voice. Maybe one day you'll see my ugly face.
Hopefully not.
But until I get my setup back, that's yet to be said. But I am super thankful. It's great to be back with you two. And, great to be back with you all online. So much love to you guys. I appreciate it.
Awesome, man. And with that, we will see you guys again right here next week on Rant. Cheers, everybody.
Cheers. Cheers.
Cheers. Cheers, fucks.
Oh gosh.
Oh yeah.
Dude,
all that coffee I drank, I'm definitely gonna take a massive poop right now.
dude,
Gross.
dude, them fists, though, man. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh man.
Those fists.
No.
So you're talking about them going in your asshole.
Yeah, that's what I'm. That's the only thing I'm getting out of this.
Dude, that. Don't put that on me, dude. That's your weird thing,
Dude, I've never seen a glisten out of your eye when you're talking about them fists, man.
Yeah.
Your eyes are twinkling, dude.
Dude, each their own, man.
Yeah, man.
I mean, yeah.
Dude, I didn't say anything about kings.
Whatever gets you those +1/+1 counters, dude.
Oh, if only she gave that. I can only marry her so many times.
Oh, jeez.